throughout my journey of class 10, I have missed probably about 20 different events, and all of this because I had to study. These events range anywhere from a marriage ceremony to festivities in my school. I could not attend these events, and the sad part is, I knew I would regret later on. That is the precise thing that happened, and I am regretting it right now. So, this is the first part of the series, and today I'll be talking about sacrifices. Part 1. Are they necessary? First of all, I would like to get this clear. I'm not a wholesome dude who will just say, ignore your studies, just go and have fun. You don't need to sacrifice anything. I'm not some brain dead guy who will just give you this random bullshit advice. Sacrifices are essential for you to get the marks, and not only the marks, sacrifices are also essential for you to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. There are already some shit that you should have cut out by now. Those include social media shit that wastes your time and all of this junk and whatever drains on your time account and your energy account. It's not just about the board exam, it's about your entire life. I'm not telling you to just cut it out for this year and go and indulge in the next year. I'm telling you, cut this out permanently from your life. Now, if you are running a business on social media, then of course not. But you know what I mean. If you already know something is bad for you, then don't do it. Part 2. Should you sacrifice like me? Absolutely. True answer is hell no. Don't. And I did too much. If you already followed the previous advice of cutting out all the junk, then you should have already more time at your disposal to conquer whatever goal you have set for yourself. Sacrifices like these are absolutely not worth it, because at the end of studying all of those 6 or 7 or 10 hours, you will just get burnt out and you will have nothing else to do because you have put all of your time in studying. Now you might think I'm a hypocrite guy who is saying don't sacrifice like me, but instead he sacrificed. I won't blame you if you call me hypocrite, because I did not understand the value of these events till they passed by me. Even though I knew I would regret not attending them, I still chose because I thought studies were so much more superior and more important. And don't get me wrong, they are. But what you only do is study, you will never achieve good marks. It is the same thing with so many things in life. If you only desire that particular thing, you will never get that particular thing. And as a result of all of these sacrifices, my social life went downhill. I will give you a secret formula. If you just study for 3 hours a day with consistency, you will get whatever the percentage you desire. It's really easy to score about at least 90. It is very hard if you are consistent and study for 3 hours per day. It's very hard for you to score below 90. And that's the truth. Now there is a catch to this, that those 3 hours have to be productive. Don't just sit for 5 minutes, try to study or pretend to study and then start scrolling. Don't do that. But if you genuinely study for 3 hours productively, yeah, it's more than enough. Part 3. Regret. Let me get this straight. This class is just going to come once in your life. All the memories, all the fun, all the experiences and each and everything, it will only happen once. And so if you miss it, there will be no going back. Grinding might seem super productive or super useful to boost your own ego, but seriously speaking, if you don't have fun, you're the one who is gonna regret. You might think that no, instead of having the fun right now, I will just study, try to get as much marks as possible. In 10 years time, that will not matter. In 10 years time, the only thing that will matter is what were your relationship, how did you bond with other people. But there is a catch. The thing is, you have to be super disciplined. I have already spread this idea in your mind that enjoy, and right now you are probably thinking that alright, so I will just ditch out all of my studies and I will just go and enjoy. But that's not the case either. You have to be super disciplined, and you should not cope. You absolutely know what is good for yourself and what is bad for yourself. Don't enjoy when you should not enjoy. If you are someone who is a hardcore guy on studying, who just studies for, I don't know, 12 hours a day, then come on, relax, chill out, do other stuff. But if you are just the guy who barely studies for 1 hour per day maximum, what the hell are you doing with your life? Stop enjoying and get to studying. There is a very nice balance and threshold for both the things to work together. My point is, both study and enjoy. Don't sacrifice one for the other. And I'm speaking with so much conviction because I have sacrificed one for the other. Even though I maintained a fairly good balance, during the ends of my years, I literally sacrificed as much as I could in order to score. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. By the way, this is just part 1 of this mini series. Go and subscribe to see all of the parts as soon as I upload them. Part 4. Chill out and relax. First thing I would like to tell you guys is, boards is not some kind of a demon. And as I already said, enjoy your life and be super disciplined. Otherwise, you're going to regret one or the other. If you only study, it will not stick. The same thing is with productivity. If you work for 6 hours straight, 10 hours straight, you will burn out. And that work will also not be productive work. That will be shallow work. What we want is deep work, not shallow work. What is deep work? Deep work is the focused work. For example, if you read and engage with the material for even 10 minutes, it's better than passively just reading and scrolling and all of this for 1 hour. Let's say you're reading chemistry. You're trying to understand, but you are failing to understand. I understand that feeling, but you're trying to see how the material relates with one another, what are the links between them, and each and everything. But if you're just keeping the NCERT open and just trying to read, or randomly you just get up and scroll, randomly you just get up and do this, do that, this is not going to work. This is a simple fact. If that is how you study, then you have to study for, I don't know, like 12 hours a day to get the same output as the guy who studies 3 hours a day. This is the reason why you see all of those thumbnails which say 12 hours study 50%, 3 hours study 98%, all of this clickbait stuff, but it is really true, because if you study with inefficiency, it's gonna take you way longer than the guy who studies with efficiency. Don't stick to one or the other for the long run. Don't make the mistakes as your senior has done. Do both, and you already know when to balance and when to not balance. If you are someone who has not studied anything and at the end just hoping that I will still enjoy and get the marks, it's not gonna happen. At that time you have to sacrifice. But if you just start with consistency, I promise you, you can attend all the events that you like, but still you will get the marks. Now let's conclude all of this. First things first, I am not the biggest social butterfly, so I don't know whether it's the culture right now or not, but if your friends invite you out each and every weekend, that's a waste of time. Yeah, sure, you can go once every month, twice every month, but each and every weekend, that is a total waste of your time. Similarly, going out by yourself, all of these things are a waste of time if you don't have a reason to go out by yourself. If you just want to go out and have fun, that is a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of energy and a waste of so many things. What you need is a balance, and I don't mean balance in a way that you study for 3 hours and then you scroll for 3 hours. This balance is total BS. People who tell you this kind of balance are total idiots, and I have no fear telling them on their face that they are a total idiot, because that is not balance, that is self-harm. If you followed all of my previous steps, you will not need that balance, because you will already have so much of your time just freed away. So once you get the actual work done for the day, that time you will have the day free, and that time you will be tempted to do the degenerate habits, but don't. Instead, start doing something productive. I don't advise you to squeeze out all of your productivity in one day, because it's not sustainable. As I previously said, after studying for 3 hours with high efficiency, your brain will literally just fry out, and there is no point in making it study further. I'm talking about a block of 3 hours. You can do about 2 blocks a day. After that, your brain will just be so tired to do all of this study BS. Unless you're a nerd like me who loves mathematics or some kind of calculation subjects, for example physics, there is no way our brains can sustain reading and studying for more than those 2 blocks. You have to keep in mind that your maximum output in a day will just be 6 hours of productive studying, and in that 6 hours you will get your most shit done. After that, everything is just passive studying. This leads very nicely to point 2, that is, don't get fooled by someone who is telling that they study for 12 hours a day. Number 1, that's not sustainable. Number 2, you know that they are lying. People who tell me they study 12 hours a day, I sometimes even think that whether they study 1 plus 2 3 hours a day or not, because 12 hours a day are not sustainable. Yeah, if you are someone who is giving JEE and you haven't studied, or you are giving NEET, UPSC, something like this, then yeah, it's understandable. But one thing is, you don't even need 12 hours of studying. Number 2, you can't even study for 12 hours. You genuinely can't, because you don't have that capacity. With point number 3, I would like to tell 2 stories. The point is, don't neglect studies and try to complete them on time. And if you can, try to complete them in advance. So story number 1 is as follows. What happened was, it was during the summer vacation of 2023. Our computer teacher was giving us the assignment for the summer vacation. So I asked that, sir, could you please also give us the assignment for winter vacation as well, so that we can complete it and we will have much time left in winter vacation. That is the level of work that you should do. Complete each and everything in given time or in advance. If you complete in given time, you will not have any headaches. And if you can complete it in advance, number 1, you will not have headache. Number 2, you will just sit and relax while other people are working like anything for completing their projects. And number 3, teachers will actually respect you, that yes, this is the guy who completes on time. And you know what is the benefit of this? It's not about becoming the dog of the teacher. It's about becoming someone who the teacher trusts. Why it is important is because if by some reason you just fail one day to complete a single task, the teacher will give you time. The teacher will give you extra time than all of your classmates because he trusts you, because you have proven yourself that you give all of the things early. And that's why if you just fail one day, or if you just don't remember that there was an assignment, the teacher will not scold you also. The teacher might say that why didn't you complete? I told everyone. He or she will not be too much angry at you. They know you work hard and you just complete all of the things in time. One day might be a miss. Similar thing happened to me in terms of both teachers and the school bus. I will quickly share the story of the school bus. What happened was, our school has buses for students to come and go. It's a private one. And one day I was super late. Super means super late. The bus actually waited for about 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a very large margin because generally they wait for about maximum 5 minutes, if even that, and they just waited for 15 minutes just for a single student. That is me. Now, how did I make it true? I was the guy who just came early each and every day. I made myself closer to all the uncles, talking with them, all of these things just to get closer. And I used to be the guy who will arrive first in the bus stand when there was nobody else. Every day I would just arrive 10 minutes earlier than the given time. And that is why one day I failed, so they waited for me. If you make someone's life easier, they are going to make your life easier in the long run. And the second story I was going to tell was, what me and my friends did was, whenever a teacher would assign us any homeworks for the day, we would take the copy from the bag and we would just do it right then, right there. If we could not do it, we won't do it at home. There are really times when we did homeworks at home. What we did was, next day when we arrived, before all the assembly and all of that, we did the work then, or during breaks of classes. There are times, right, when one teacher leaves but another teacher doesn't come. In that periods of 5 minutes, we used to complete the work. People literally called us geeks, nerds, whatever, but we stuck to this principle and we became the guys who would just give in advance, not on time but on advance. And many people, they will not even submit when it was the time. They would submit late. There are countless times when the teacher just assigned us the work, and that day we would just go and ask the teacher, sir or ma'am, could you sign on this one please, because we have completed the work. And sometimes the teacher was also amazed that how could you do all of this today? We did all of this just to do one thing, that is save time, so that we have more time at home. And if you incorporate this principle along with all the principles I previously spoke about, you don't have to miss anything because you will have more than enough time. If the previous me knew what I know right now, I'm not even kidding, I could have completed class 11 by now. And that's not a joke. And the last point is, don't get frustrated around people who are telling you to study more and more. This generally applies to parents. What I would tell is, they are there for your best. They don't know all the concepts of productivity and all of this stuff, so they don't understand that you get burnt out by using your brain too much. They want you to succeed, and that's why they just tell you to go study. Don't get frustrated on them. Generally, my advice would be, build such a connection that they don't need to interfere with your studies, but if it is not possible, then just work hard. They will acknowledge you one day. My personal system is, I manage all of my studies by myself, so there is no interference. And whenever I start to record the videos, they know I am doing work. They know I have already completed my studies and I am doing the task on time. Basically, they don't need to interfere and tell me that go and study, because they know whether they tell me or not, I will study anyways. Now, all of the productivity aside, if you're feeling like you want to give up, then go and click this one. Or if you have a bad habit but don't know what the hell to replace it with, then go and click this one. I'll see you in the next one. Start if you haven't already.